Welcome to the Fire Rescue Wellness Podcast Spotlight, where we revisit take-home messages and shine a light on previous FRW podcasts in 10 minutes or less. I'm Lex, AZ's right and left-hand woman, and I churn out these mini episodes for her. Let's go.
So you talked about your prevention groups and then individual appointments. Is it mandatory to go to the group? Is it voluntary? What's the attendance like? How does that all work?
Yeah, it is not mandatory, which that can be determined based on the department. I know another one of the departments that I've put an athletic trainer into, they've made it basically mandatory and got less pushback than they anticipated. But I will say even the departments that keep it voluntary like mine does, I have 98%. I hate the word compliance. That's what it's used as in administration. But basically 98% of people actually participate in prevention groups. And with that being said, even the people that don't participate in prevention groups, I may see them individually. So they just don't want to work in that group setting. But when we have prevention groups, let's say just one of your backsteppers on the engine doesn't want to participate, then when you come here, they just read at the bay table, go upstairs in the day room, whatever it is that they want to do. And what I've noticed over the years is maybe they don't want to do something like what I think they should be doing based on their screening or based on their surveys and patient-rated outcome measures they did. And just because one type of exercise or movement would be better for them doesn't mean that I should stay heels dug in on that. If they're willing to move their body for that hour, I'm going to take it. We're going to find a way to compromise, and that can increase the amount of people that are willing to come into your clinic and give it a try. And then once they're seeing what everyone else is doing and going out on a limb and trusting, it usually encourages them to do the same thing.
Yeah, I feel like many of us don't really want to be an early adopter, but when we see other people doing it, then it makes a lot of sense to us. I like that. I like that a lot. So how many agencies would you say in your current area, I guess what percentage of agencies are utilizing an athletic trainer? High percentage, low percentage?
Low percentage. Low percentage, but it is one of the highest percentage areas in the country utilizing athletic trainers. We just are not that many places within public safety yet. I'm sure everyone that is taking the time and interest to listen to a podcast specifically about this has been through some experience where they recognize that things move excruciatingly slowly in small government or in large government. And also no one ever wants to dedicate the money to certain things. So if you silver platter it for them, it's no longer you're going to be on the cutting edge if you do this, but you are already behind by not having an athletic trainer. Here's how we can make up that deficit, because you don't want to be the one that doesn't have one in 5 years when this is a critical issue. So I wouldn't put a percentage on it. I can say that within very drivable distance for me, I have 6 departments, 5 clinics, and 5 athletic trainers total. There are a couple of other hospital systems who have started programs that we all have a different model. It's just a little bit different from one another. We offer different things, or our billing is different. However, it works from agency to agency. And with that, there are many firefighters and police officers with access. The amount of access just changes. So for example, White River has full access to me all the time. There is another business that if you have a work comp injury, you can go and get treated by that athletic trainer that's at a more central location, just things like that. So access is there. Access looks very different.
That makes very much sense. And then this leads me to the next question, that departments, money is tight. They want to be very careful where they spend their money. You and I both know that the return on investment on this type of healthcare is huge. But do you have any statistics or data on return on investment yet?
Sure. Yes, I do. I don't have them in front of me, but I can give you one just off the top of my head. So at White River Township, where I've been for a little over 2 years now, if you take the entirety of 2021, I run these numbers as conservatively as possible. So we can make data say anything we want. And that is so frustrating, because if you have not worked in some sort of scientific realm, whether it's the engineering or math part of science, or if it's the healthcare part of science, then you don't know just how manipulated data is. But I try to make sure I'm as clear as possible with the data that I'm running. So what that means is if someone is injured and they go see a physician, then we take that injury diagnosis and we say, okay, according to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, what is the median number of days that someone normally works specifically in their local government category? So not state government, because I'm working with local government. What's the median number of days? And then we change that into overtime, what that would look at in shift days. So if you miss normally 40 days in a 5-day work week, I'm not going to count that as 40 shift days. That's wrong. So instead, marker wise, how many days are in that 5-hour work week, turn that into shift days. And then how much earlier or later did we get that person back to work? Or did they miss any work at all? Let's say we got them back 3 shifts early compared to the median, then 3 shifts times 24 hours. You have the number of hours they returned early, and then that times their straight time pay, their straight time hourly pay is the minimum amount of overtime we saved. And that same amount of hours times true overtime is the maximum amount of overtime we saved for not having to backfill their position. I also will not consider someone returning to light duty to have quote unquote returned early, because you're still backfilling their full-time spot. So in general, if you take all of that and keep in mind that I only calculate that for people who go see a physician, the people I'm seeing for prevention groups or people that I know have strains and we keep them in-house, that math doesn't happen. So just for those that see a physician in 2021, we saved between $350,000 to I think $551,000 in overtime alone, just at White River.
Wow.
So I know there's a lot of math, but that's how that works in the basic area of it.